President Uhuru Kenyatta and his elder brother Raila Odinga were yesterday handed humiliating defeat at the Senate. The senators voted against the revenue allocation formula, which the president was supporting. And for those who remember, Raila Odinga was initially opposed to that formula. But in his attempt to save the Building Bridges initiative and the handshake, Raila Odinga then decided to support that formula. So they were handed humiliating defeat. And today I want us to look at why the president and Raila Odinga were defeated at the Senate. Why that bill did not pass. But before we do that, if you are watching this video for the first time, I want you to take a second or two and click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, you will automatically get notified by YouTube. Now back to the main issue. And before I get into the details, I've lost a friend of mine, Sam Omondio Dima. I got to know Sam sometimes back when during campaigns in Ugenya, when one of my friends, Kevin Doso, was contesting for the MCA seat there. So one time after the campaigns, because we were there, he invited us to his home. So I got to know him. And later on, I realized Sam was a very good friend of one of my cousins. So whenever I was in Nairobi and with this cousin of mine, so we'd always spend time together. So Sam went home on the 11th and he traveled back to Nairobi. And he got sick. So he was treated, and then at some point they decided, of course he was treated for pneumonia, he improved, then persisted, then this guy was tested for COVID. And he tested positive. So today morning, Sam passed. So I just wanted to remind us that COVID is real. So let us all just protect ourselves, protect our community, just follow the guidelines. Now, back to the main issue. 25 senators voted against the revenue allocation formula. And only 22 senators voted for the revenue allocation formula. And I don't want to go into the details because we all know that James Orengo tried at some point when the debate began to adjourn the debate to allow for consensus. And that motion by James Orengo was defeated by 40 senators against 7. And then Uhuru Kenyatta then introduced amendments to the revenue allocation formula bill. And in his amendment, they wanted to retain everything but change the implementation so that once the bill is passed by the senators, then the implementation period was going to wait for like another 2 years. But that was thrown out. 22 senators supported and 25 senators voted against it. So the president and Raila Odinga was defeated at the Senate. Why was this defeat? Because today I don't want to go into the history. The reasons why Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta were defeated in the Senate is very simple. Because let us just be real. 22 senators voted for the bill. 25 voted against. So it means these guys only needed 2 senators from the other side. So if they took 2 senators from the other side, it meant the other side was going to remain with 23 senators. And if you added these 2 to these other 22, they were going to have 24. And for that bill to pass, they just needed simple majority. So it means 24 was going to be enough. And another thing to remember or to point out is that during this vote, nominated senators were not allowed to vote because the vote was going to affect the counties. So by law, they were not going to be allowed to vote. And if one of the senators was absent, and of course yesterday all the 47 senators were present, if one of them was going to be absent, then constitutionally he was supposed to identify one of the nominated senators and ask him to go and vote on his behalf the same way he would have voted. But why did this bill fail? Number one, I think Irungu Kenyatta leadership is wanting at the Senate. Why am I saying so? I've had people claim that Kipchumba Murkomen would have ensured that this bill passed. I also doubt that. But I felt and I feel very strongly that Irungu Kenyatta is not taking his role seriously. If Irungu Kenyatta was taking his role seriously, there was nothing which stopped him. There's nothing which stopped him from convincing two senators, especially senators whose counties were benefiting from voting for this particular bill. But he failed. Remember, it is the same Kenyatta who introduced the issue of BBI and handshake in all this debate. Because this is something which has been there all along. So Irungu Kenyatta then took his time, went to Muranga in central Kenya and Mount Kenya region and started bragging how this bill was going to pass. And that one man, one vote, 1 shilling is the only reason they will vote or support the Building Bridges initiative. As if the BBI is going to support directly some of the counties. Remember, by making that statement, Irungu Kenyatta now made this thing to be a Mount Kenya versus the rest of the country. And to make matters worse, they then picked it up. People like Moses Kuria picked it up, and from all their utterances, it was clear this bill was not going to get the support it was getting initially. Because people like Moses Kuria now started terming other counties as if the money they were going to get was going to be for cows, for roads, for, the derogatory terms they were using. So I want to ask President Uhuru Kenyatta to blame one man for that failure, Irungu Kenyatta. Number two is miscalculation. Irungu Kenyatta and his team assumed that because only 19 counties were going to lose, he believed that at the end of the day, the other counties which were going to gain, their senators were going to support this bill. He was wrong. And actually, I believe that's the reason why he was arrogant, because he believed that only 19 counties were going to oppose it. And out of those 19, he also believed that with the intervention of Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta, probably these other 19 counties, some of them were going to support the bill. But these senators decided, the senators whose counties were benefiting, decided to support their colleagues. In Kisii, for example, Nyamira is losing and Kisii County is gaining. So Kisii and Nyamira, you can't really separate them. So the senator for Kisii, Professor Sam Ongeri, decided to vote no. And he voted no purely to stand with Nyamira. You go to Kakamega County. In Kakamega County, Kakamega is gaining almost 900 million Kenyan shillings. And the assumption was that the senator for Kakamega, who is intending to run for the gubernatorial seat in 2022, was automatically going to support that bill because Kakamega is gaining, and by gaining, it means he will have easy time and more resources when he becomes the governor. The Kakamega senator decided to vote no. He voted no to stand with Vihiga County, which was going to gain, to Vihiga County, he did that to stand with Vihiga County, which was going to lose over 300 million Kenya shillings. You go to Lamu. In Lamu, these guys had calculated that the senator, Loy Tip Tip, was going to vote for this bill because Lamu was gaining. But Lamu is part of coast. And apart from Lamu, the entire coastal region was going to lose. So the Lamu senator then decided to also stand with the people of the coastal region. In Rift Valley, the other counties, all other counties were going to gain. Kajiado County senator decided to vote no in solidarity with Narok, because Kajiado is currently a cosmopolitan county, but Narok County is predominantly Maasais. So because the governor is a Maasai, because the senator is a Maasai, he decided to side with their brothers in Narok. And that miscalculation is what led to Uhuru Kenyatta being embarrassed at the Senate. Number three, I think the marginalized communities also mobilized well. And apart from mobilizing well, they actually were united. Take, for example, how these guys voted. The entire coast region, which is actually ODM stronghold, the entire coastal region voted for a no. So there was unity in the people of coast. Because if anything, these are the people who have been calling for Majimboism so that more resources can be given to them. And now you are here telling them that you are taking away the resources which they already have. So they were united. You go to Northeastern, the people Moses Kuria were terming as cattle, cows, and the rest. They were also united because you talk of Wajir, which was going to lose 1.9, Mandera 1.8, Garissa 1.8 billion. So those pastoralist communities also decided, and they came together. You come to Samburu, you come to Isiolo, Marsabit, they all decided, these marginalized communities, they decided to stick together. So if they were going to fail, they were going to fail together. So already their number was secured. And once they succeeded in that, then they only needed goodwill from a few governors. And that's why Malala standing with Vihiga worked in their favor. That's why Lamu joining them worked in their favor. That's why Kisii, Ongeri voting a no worked in their favor. So I think the unity of these marginalized communities worked in their favor. As a matter of fact, if Uhuru Kenyatta was serious, he needed to have figured out how he was going to address the issue of these marginalized communities. Because without addressing the marginalized communities, there was no way this vote was going to pass. Number three, I think there was the threat and intimidation. And again, there was the arrogance of Uhuru Kenyatta. Yesterday, after the vote, Uhuru Kenyatta was still talking arrogantly how they are going to punish those who voted against that bill. You know, the senators, especially the elected senators, you can't really intimidate them. For one to be elected as senator is not an easy thing. Forget about members of parliament. Forget about the nominated senators. Elected senators in this country, you cannot easily intimidate them. And that's why this bill failed. Uhuru Kenyatta, instead of engaging the senators, he opted for threats. Moses Kuria was issuing threats the other side. Every single day, Moses Kuria was posting how this is going to do what. Those threats cannot work on senators. So some of them just voted no, to say no to threats and intimidation. And lastly, I think there was also no clear command or consensus building was lacking. Why am I saying this? When James Orengo decided to move that adjournment motion, I knew at the back of my mind that James Orengo already knew that this bill was going to fail. But his vote itself was thrown out kama burukenge. James Orengo only got Orengo's vote motion to adjourn the motion, to adjourn the debate. Only 7 senators voted for it. 40 against. And that motion was actually seconded by the Bungoma senator. So I think there was no consensus building, even on the part of President Uhuru Kenyatta. If Uhuru Kenyatta was serious, and you remember James Orengo alluding to the fact that Uhuru Kenyatta is unreachable, he made himself inaccessible so they could not even reach him. I don't know about Raila Odinga, because Orengo is minority leader. What direction was he given? So I think next time the president wants this bill to pass, he must build consensus. Without building consensus, there is no way this bill is going to pass. This bill, just to be fair, as much as Kiambu is gaining, as much as Kericho is gaining, those other counties are gaining. It is not good for those marginalized counties. The reason Kenyans advocated for devolution was to fix the skewed allocation of resources. As we speak today, the president has just launched a 12 billion project, road project, in his constituency in Gasutundu South. I want to challenge anybody to tell me any mega development project or road project which is currently being undertaken in those parts of the world, especially the marginalized communities. So devolution was supposed to cure those skewed developments so that if the national government was not going to allocate, because you see, the fact is, the other politics behind this is the politics of numbers. You will need Kikuyu votes, then you will need some of those counties. And Kikuyus are saying, for them, they want one man, one vote. And that's why I'm actually laughing. I've seen the Team Tangatanga guys celebrating the defeat of this motion. But if you look at it critically, the people who voted no, are most of them are actually in a handshake. So Team Tangatanga voted yes. So in my view, for this bill, because on next Tuesday, this bill is going to be brought back to the Senate for debate without proper amendments, because the one was thrown out. Now Sakaja brought another bill, and in Sakaja's bill, which I think cures everything, you begin by the original figure, 316 billion, which is normally split across the counties. That one, each county gets it the way they normally get it. So it's no percentage applies to it. Then beyond that, now you can use population and the rest and the rest. I don't know what you think, but in my view, the president was defeated. Raila Odinga was defeated. William Ruto was defeated. Let us wait and see how the debate is going to pick up next week. Thank you guys. And if you're watching this video for the first time again, please just take a second or two, click subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will notify you. And to the subscribers, the way I always just say, create interactions, give the video thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't like it. And the best one is just to share this video with your friends and dropping your comments. Thank you guys. And you can always reach me on my WhatsApp number, which is 0777 741323. 0777 741323. And again, for those who are sending me coffee, the number is still open. Just drop me WhatsApp on that number on how we can do it. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day.